Hi, and welcome to the demo of Sprint 7 for the Hydra in a Box project. This week, we have two people on the demo. We'll start off with Gary Geisler, who will be showing our design documents that are starting to be posted to our wiki, followed by Aaron Fahey, who will demo the two-step auto deployment of the Hydra in a Box application to Amazon. Turning it over to Gary now.
Thanks, Anna. So as you might know, the Hydra in a Box design requirements and specification team has been working since last summer on a range of discovery research and user needs assessment activities. We recently added a design documents page to the Hydra in a Box project on the DuraSpace wiki. The goal of this is to share our design documents that we've been producing through our user discovery activities. And we've added a couple documents to the wiki this week. And first, I'm going to show you a design brief. This is just a simple two-page document that outlines the main goals of the Hydra in a Box project, describes what each of the project partners brings to the project, a little bit about the scope of the project, and a high-level explanation of our design and development process. We've also added links to a couple of our sources for our environmental scan. These are for the literature review we've been doing, and we've also been looking at digital repository requirements reports that have been prepared by other people in the past. And so we have links to our sources for both those activities now, and we'll be adding full summaries of our literature review and requirements, external requirements, in the near future. The other thing I wanted to show today was the user personas we've created. So user personas are composite characters we've developed based on data gathering during our discovery research. And if you're not familiar with personas, the idea is to convey the most common types of motivations, goals, user characteristics through a small, manageable number of user representatives. And then when we're making design and development decisions in the future, we can appeal to these personas, right, rather than having to remember all the details of everyone we've interviewed and so on. So we've created 6 personas. Each of these represents one of the 6 most common types of institutions we've heard from doing our Hydra in a Box community survey and the user interviews and focus groups we conducted, where each of these personas has 3 scenarios associated with it. And each of those scenarios has a handful of more concrete goals that sort of come out of that scenario. So across all 6 personas, we've tried to represent the most common use cases we've heard about through our discovery and user research. And that's all the design documents I have to show today, but we'll be adding more of our documents over the coming weeks. So if you're interested in our design process, keep an eye on this wiki page. And now I'm going to hand it over to Aaron.
Thank you, Gary. Can everyone see my Chrome?
Yes.
Excellent. So this week we did a lot more work on our AWS CloudFormation template stack. And if you remember from last week, we had some of the components working properly. Hadn't yet gotten to the actual web app HiBox part. That was completed this week, as well as a auto deployment scheme. First, I will talk about the actual stack work that we completed this week on this for the CloudFormation templating work that we did. So, as Hannah mentioned, it's a 2-step full stack process right now. The first requires a stack for Zookeeper to get spun up, and then for the rest of the stack to get spun up. The Zookeeper to Solar Cloud is a sophisticated exchange of information, so we hope to have that on next week's sprint to streamline that a bit. So running these two commands will create in your AWS environment, or at least it creates in our environment, a series of stacks that, as you can see, creates the database, Solr, Redis, Fedora, and the code pipeline that I referred to. And at the end, the output is the installation of the demo for us. For right now, this is what it looks like. So that's been a lot of the work to be able to just get it to these two commands. And as I said, hopefully next week we should be able to squash that into just one command. About the code pipeline or the auto deploy mechanism we have working, this Travis deployment integration that we have set up right now is yet another stack, CloudFormation stack for AWS, that will create a user in AWS, a bucket, and tie up some keys to the repo that you want to deploy. And on the application itself, the Travis YAML file is configured. This is an encrypted key, so don't worry about that. But gives you a configuration block to basically say, once something is merged into master, wrap up the source code and deposit it into that S3 bucket. Then the code pipeline stack creates us a very simple workflow to go pick up the source code from S3 and trigger the Beanstalk application for the Hidebox actual application to be updated. And that is an automatic triggering of events once a merge has been put into master on the repo, all the tests have passed, and then we get a deploy within maybe 5 to 7 minutes on the merge, depending on how long your tests run and how long the steps take. So we're pretty excited to have that working. And as I said, we hope to collapse these two different steps in future sprints. Thanks very much. Back to Hannah.
So thanks for watching this demo of Sprint 7. We'll have another one for you next week. See you later.